So.
Shall we read one verse of the Kalachakra?
Yeah.
I read this, I recently retranslated the beginning of, we have translated our group 4 out of 5 of the Kalachakra chapters. And I recently started working on the first chapter. And in the first chapter, there's a long preface by Pundarika, which means white lotus, which was the 8th king of Shambhala. And he was a reincarnation of Avalokiteshvara, supposedly. And his father was someone called Yashas, Manjushri Yashas, meaning famous, Manjushri famous, believed to be a reincarnation of Manjushri. And the story is that the Brahmins in Shambhala, there were apparently a caste system and there were Brahmins there. And they got tired of him and of Shambhala, which is the model for Shangri-La. It's supposed to be a really cool place, somewhere in the north, nobody knows where it is. It's a magic land, a mystical, mysterious land. And so they said to Yashas, they said, I'm sorry, your Kalachakra Tantra is too complicated for us. We're sick and tired of it. We're going back to India to do our Vedas and forget about you. So he said, okay, fine, you guys take off. See you later. And then they all went out, and it was a tremendous problem getting across the desert and the mountains and the rivers. I think coming from Siberia, the North Pole. Nobody knows where Shambhala is, actually, but it's north of Mongolia, whatever that is, supposedly. And beyond Siberia or somewhere up there. And then they all, of course, Manjushri, he pulled a trick on them, and it wasn't nice. And he sent some sort of a demon out there, and they made a big noise, and they were out in the middle of the desert, they were lost anyway, and then this demon made a big noise, and then they all passed out. So when they had passed out, he somehow had somebody who had miraculous abilities to bring them all back. And then when they woke up, they were back in Shambhala. They were a bit bummed out. So then he said, look, I'm sorry about it. We're going to simplify the Tantra, and I'm going to write a short version, a light. I'm going to write Kalachakra light, a Lagu Kalachakra. He did. And then he said, and that'll make it hard for you to understand it. So my son, the 8th king, I'm telling him he has to write a commentary called Vimala Prabha, the stainless light. And then he wrote the simplified one, and then he initiated them all again, and then he did a very strange thing, which was, in the initiation, he made them, was when you're initiated, you become brother and sister with everyone else who gets initiated. So he said, now you're all initiated in this new version that I made for you. So now you're all equal, you're all brother and sister, so there's no more caste, he said. So everyone is one caste. Everyone is of the Vajra caste. Vajra means, diamond. In the old days, in Indra's time, Vajra meant a thunderbolt. It was like a weapon. But in the Buddhist Tantras and in Mahayana Buddhism, it comes to mean like the unbreakable, clear light of the void, ultimate nature of reality, infinite energy that lies at the base of all matter and mind. Clearly, you've heard of the clear light of the void. I presume everyone has. And that's Vajra, because nothing can break it because it's infinite energy. It's also very lazy because being infinite energy, everything's already done. So it doesn't do anything by itself, it's just peaceful. But it can be drawn on by ignorant people who think they need to do something, busy people like me, excessively busy people. And it can infinitely be drawn on. So anyway, there they were, these Brahmins, and they kind of decided to get into it, that their sweeper, former sweeper, was the same Vajra caste as their brother and their sister. It's a little, I think, harsh for them in the beginning. So then after that, the next 25 kings of Shambhala, beginning with the 8th Pundarika, are called Kalki kings, like the 10th incarnation of Vishnu. Kalki, and what Kalki means is actually it's a contraction of Kulika. Means one who upholds the caste. But it doesn't mean who reestablishes the caste system. It means who upholds the caste, the Vajra caste of everybody. So I annoy my colleagues in Buddhist studies because I translated Kalki king as a democratic king. Because democracy is based on the idea that everyone's equal. Ultimately, I mean not actually, but ultimately they are, right? Okay. So then he wrote this thing, this Pundarika. And when I love Pundarika, when I translate him, I feel I'm hearing His Holiness. You know, he is the Dalai Lama. He is also supposed to be Avalokiteshvara, right? And then he had usually the Dalai Lamas or the Panchen Lamas in Tibet, once in a lifetime or possibly twice, they would do a public conferral of the Kalachakra grand initiation, you know. And this guy has done, he's up at number 34, I think, or 35. He's like, he quit at 30, but now he's up to 34 or 5, because people keep bugging him. And another one in January. And anyway, because the Vishvamata, which means the universal mother, who is the female form of Kalachakra, he had a vision of her in the early 60s, that when he first escaped to India, that he should promote the Kalachakra worldwide, that it would be very important for world peace to do so, and that he could give as many initiations to anybody and so on that he wanted. And so he did that. So he did all these things, and he trained the monks of his personal monastery to be really experts in all the art of the Kalachakra and the whole thing. And in the thing I sent you, you'll see the mandala. Some of you probably have already seen it, but many of you will have, but others can see that. Anyway, the first grade summary, which destroys all devils and obstructors, the precept on the supreme archetype deity and the noble path. That's the name of the first chapter is divided in 4 or 5 Mahaudesha, they're called, great summaries. And it begins, I bow to Manjunatha, I bow to Sri Kalachakra. So I do have the Sanskrit somehow, but we don't need to chant it. I bow to the glorious Kalachakra, the very soul of voidness and compassion, embodying in one both knower and known of the triniversal world, free of birth or death. I got tired of saying triple universe, so I call it triniverse. What is this problem? Why do we need to say triple universe? Who asked that? It's a triniverse. Universe, right? So triniverse. At this point, I was compromising to say tri-universal, I did. But now I go triniversal. Forget the U. Okay? I salute that one embraced by divine Lady Wisdom. She, formless, still manifesting form, whose immutable bliss, free of birth and death, is beyond the pleasures of the comic, etc. moods, you know, the 9 rasas, or the 8 rasas, you know, the comic, tragic, etc. Who is father of Buddhas, combining all 3 bodies, knower of all 3 times, therefore omniscient, that very non-dual, supreme, primal Buddha, divine. So that's the salutation to Kalachakra. Buddha Kalachakra. Ganesha is, by the way, Ganesha is not only is Ganesha in the Kalachakra mandala, but Mrs. Ganesha is in there. There is a Mrs. Ganesha. Seriously, there is. And she's in the Kalachakra mandala. And in the speech mandala, in the body mandala, they're in the union in the center of a wheel, where there are 12 body mandala wheels that correspond to the 12 months. And they are in the center of one of them, which I don't remember which one, it's the old hand. And he's the big Ganesha, and Mrs. Ganesha is in union, you know, sort of wrapped around him. But in the speech mandala, Mrs. Ganesha is macho and big. They duplicate their bodies, no problem. So she's in the speech mandala. There's 8 chakras there, and she and he are in the center of one of them. And she is the big macho, you know, breasty elephant, red elephant. And he's a little guy wrapped around too. Some serious yoga there.
Is he a little elephant?
Well, yeah, he has an elephant head, but you know, he has a humanoid body, and I guess the equipment down there. But he's smaller. So my friend, who passed away sadly, one of my students, and one of the great artists, monks, who made the thing for the monks of Dalai Lama's thing to paint on the wall all these individual deities, the 722 individual deities of the Kalachakra mandala. When they did the speech mandala, they couldn't get a big woman and a little guy kind of wrapped around, you know, like a consort. They couldn't quite get that.
I couldn't even imagine it.
So they put the breast on the guy, sort of like, you know, from the side, you know, like breast was like that. And he was so mad. He was up there racing them. You know, they thought it was male Ganesha. There was a Mrs. Indra, Mrs. Brahma, Mrs. Rudra. They're all female in the speech mandala. The women are dominating there in the speech.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
64 Vedic goddesses are there around them, and the 8 wheels in the 6th, and the pedals of the 8th wheel.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that's a digression, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah, so speech or Vak.
But